when 16-year-old Katie Martin seemed to be suffering a severe asthma attack. Her friends rushed to get her to the nearest police station before she could no longer breathe at all.
We were all kind of planning out what we were going to do when we got to the police station. And I decided that I'd be the one to call Mrs. Martin, and Sarah would be the one to go run and get the police. Allison and I were basically out of the car before it had stopped. I need help. My first attack.
Sarah quickly explained the problem to the first officer she met.
Right out there, in the parking lot. Yes.
Okay, go ahead, I'll call the ambulance.
She was just frozen and just kept saying, "Help me, Laurie, help me, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die." She just looked up. She just looked so scared and so helpless.
What happened to her?
Officer Buddy Pelletier was first on the scene.
What's your name? Katie. Katie, listen to me.
People that have respiratory problems, the more they gasp for air, the less oxygen they get. Her respiration was getting shallower and shallower, and at some point in time, she actually stopped breathing.
She just looked up into my face and then the policeman's face, and I couldn't help her. And I couldn't do anything for her, and I couldn't stop what was happening.
Detective Peter McVeigh also ran to help.
Just as she got around the corner, her body just gave away.
A South Portland ambulance was dispatched from less than 2 blocks away.
I started crying because she was my best friend, and she's so young. She's got so much more to do, so much more to see, and she hasn't done enough and hasn't lived enough.
EMT Kevin Giemond arrived within minutes.
I knew right then when we were pulling in that she wasn't breathing. She just looked like a sack of potatoes.
He took the respirator out of the kit. I immediately put it on her face and started forcing air into her lungs.
She wasn't getting the air that way. You can see the air coming on the sides. Her throat was just swollen up and closed up, apparently.
You can tell if they're dying or not, if they're chalky, you can tell. And this girl was on her way out. I could have wasted time, tried to start an IV, try to do some other things, but that wouldn't have saved her. She needed air. She needed oxygen.
Without oxygen, Katie could suffer permanent brain damage within 6 minutes.
I took an oral airway. They're about 3 inches long. Usually you can pop an oral airway in and ventilate fairly decently, but it just wouldn't work. She had a lockjaw. Her teeth were locked together. So I grabbed a nasal airway. It's a skill you learn in basic EMT class, but you learn it one evening for 10 minutes and that's it. You never really think you're going to use it.
Try that.
It worked real quick. Real quick.
Okay. All right, give me a driver. Let's get out of here.
At that time, I still wasn't positive she was going to live.
We just all said we got to think positive. You know, they're professionals. They can bring her back.
Katie was admitted to the main medical center under the care of Dr. Rick Baker.
She wasn't moving any extremities and was really very unresponsive on arrival. We were very concerned that she was going to continue to deteriorate to a full arrest.
As soon as Katie's mother, Sally, got Allison's call from the police station, she headed to the hospital.
I thought the girls had just maybe overreacted. Katie has had allergies and asthma really ever since she was a tiny baby. I remember walking through the door and I said to her, "Where's Katie?" And the nurse looked at me and she said, "Katie is in the trauma unit and we're working on her and we're doing the best we can." At that point, I felt like somebody taking a sledgehammer and knocked me right in the stomach.
Our concern was to give her an injection of adrenaline just the moment she hit the place.
0.5 of epi?
It stops the swelling that's going on and really puts a halt to the allergic response.
Okay, Katie.
Sorry, Katie. Okay, Katie. Okay.
She took an additional 2 injections of adrenaline in order to help stabilize her, and on top of that required some Benadryl, which is an antihistamine, to help pull her out of this. It probably took about 20 minutes for her to wake up and sit up and talk to us.
I went over to her side and I took a hold of her hand, which was ice cold, and she looked at me.
No, Katie, it's Mom. The only thing I could think of was that she was an angel, because I had thought I was dead.
Doing fine.
Emergency room.
I said, in this mother-teacher tone, I said, Katie, it's your mother. You're fine. You're going to be all right now.
Katie survived without any permanent injuries. Her parents later questioned her friends to discover what had caused the near-fatal allergic reaction.
Mr. Martin said, "Did she eat any nuts?" And that's when I said, "Yeah, there were nuts in the cookies. There were walnuts in the cookies." And he said that's what it was. It never occurred to me that an allergy could be that bad.
I think all of us have just kind of learned to appreciate life a little more. It made us stronger, I guess, as friends.
Katie has since been tested for other allergies. She now wears a medic alert tag that lists them and a number to call in an emergency. Although more than a year has passed, her father Al can't forget.
It's only later that it really hits you, I think. I'm really a lucky guy. I mean, I came so close to losing a daughter, and just by a combination of her own good sense and 3 wonderful young friends that were mature enough to know what to do, and then finally the rescue people that did such a professional, talented job. They are the difference between Katie being here and her not being here.
When you've been that near death, you know, I think it really makes you aware of how thin the line is.
You know, you only live once, or most people do. And you gotta live life to what it is. If you want to do something, you do it. And you don't wait for it to happen to you. You go out and do it.
Next.
I need the police. Armed robbery in progress.
We get so many routine type of calls that when something in progress or life-threatening happens, it sometimes catches you off guard.
He's coming up to me with a mask on his face.